This call. It was the doctor. I put it on speaker, and my sister was there, and he started talking. All the English I knew went away. I couldn't understand anything he was saying. I lost 14 pounds within 2 weeks.
While you were under the treatments,
No,
or out of just
before
before the
treatment,
treatments?
just thinking
I get you.
about me dying.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared of dying. I remember I asked my daughter, "Hey, are you scared for mommy?" And she said, "No. You're the strongest woman I know.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to make it."
Hey guys, welcome back to the Two Thumbs Up podcast. Dr. Todd here again with you. Thank you for tuning in. I've got my new friend who I just met today, Angela Pichardo. Pichardo. I love it. Also Vargas. So will you say your whole name for me, please?
Angela Maria Vargas Diaz. And then my married name is Angela Maria Pichardo.
I love it. See, do you see why I wanted you to say it?
Yeah.
So much nicer. Sounds so much nicer. Yeah.
Smooth.
Very rhythmic. I love it. Thank you. So welcome to the Two Thumbs Up podcast. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So just as a little background, so people know, Marlene, who's part of our marketing team, she met you and you inspired her. So she's like, why don't you come on the podcast? So thank you for that. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So let's kind of just dive in here a little bit, and will you share some things about you? Maybe where you grew up. Just start with you, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Well, I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, in Santo Domingo. And then I came to the United States back in 1998 to go to school. I went to Utah Valley University, graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration. And then I worked for 23 years for a restaurant company, a franchise. And after that, my life changed a lot. And changed for the better.
What was it like for you? What age did you come here from the Dominican Republic?
Huh?
What age did you come here from the
22.
22. What was it like for you growing up in the Dominican Republic?
For me, it was amazing. I had the best childhood anyone can have, even coming from a poor family that struggles sometimes. But honestly, I felt like somebody that was born rich because of my parents, the education I got, and I was able to go to private school even when we didn't have the money. And everything was so good back in the days. There was no fear of anything. And coming here was a total different story. But overall, my childhood, my teenagers' ages, it was great.
So you mentioned fear, right? So it's an interesting word to me. It's an interesting feeling that so many of us on planet Earth experience in different ways. And so, but your growing up years in the Dominican Republic, you felt very safe.
Yes.
Very, very cared for. So I have a feeling you're going to go from this tranquil, beautiful experience to something else. Yes. And so, what is it then for you when it comes to, your childhood? Because obviously that's where you got a lot of grounding, a lot of foundation for your life to potentially go through some tough things. Yes. Yeah. You share your childhood was very peaceful but difficult. You mentioned something about being rich even though being poor. Yeah. Can you share a little bit about that? Because we have an idea that richness comes from money.
Yeah.
But in your experience, richness can come from life and experience. Yes.
Yeah, I was raised in a Catholic family. My mom was very into it, and she forced us to go to a church
Catholic
every
school.
Sunday, and then seminary and all that. And I'm grateful for that because that was the foundation for me and for me when I come to raise my kids.
Yeah.
And then I was rich, and like you said, not money wise, but I had the love, I had the caring. My mom, she would break her back just to cook for us. And even though and I told her the other day, Mom, sometimes I will listen to you fighting with my dad. Give me the money for lunch. And he will say, I don't have any, and walk away. And then all of a sudden, on our table, there was meat, there was rice, there was beans. And I was like, man, we were rich.
Yeah.
And I had the best toys, even when they couldn't buy it.
So what was the magic? Your mom sounds like she's
Mom,
she's magic.
yeah.
In a beautiful way. So what was it about your mom that was able to create that?
I think my mom, she was raised in a family of 10. She was the oldest, and she was very caring with all the brothers and sisters. And when she met my dad and all that, it's a long story, but I think the love that she had for my dad will make her like give us so much. And she put up with so many things. And she forgave my dad for things that he did. And I think she wanted to reflect it on us at a point that we wouldn't miss anything. She will do anything for us. Our family foundation comes from my mom.
Yeah. What's your mom's name?
Hi, Segunda, and she's the first. Segunda means second.
Yeah.
Segunda, and we call her Aminta.
What's that mean?
Aminta, just a name.
What's her name?
Yeah, she's gonna be 85 this year.
And so, but she's the second. Was there a first?
No, she's the first, but she was named second in English.
I see.
And then in Spanish, Segunda.
Segunda. I see. I got you. And she'll be 85
This year.
You were describing, she would create these beautiful meals and these experiences for you. How do you suppose she did that?
Going to the market and saying, I'll pay you tomorrow. I'll pay you tomorrow. And I'll pay you after tomorrow.
And, I love this. So, because she had integrity,
People believe in her.
and trust, they knew the people at the shop. Segundo. Segunda. She is her word. Yeah. Wow. Now to be one's word in life based on results with your mama is a powerful thing. Because could she have created what she created for you guys if she wasn't her word?
No.
Yeah. And because she was her word, she built trust with everyone. And I promise, she's the type of person that even if the next day she didn't have the money, she would figure out how to make it balanced. Right? Is that what she did?
Yeah, and she used to make this ice cream made of coconut, sweet potatoes, and put in little bags, freeze it, and then sell it. So she can come up with money. Because my dad was just a driver in the Dominican Republic, public driver. And then, they were able to get out and go to New York, and my dad still was a taxi driver. But she made it work.
Oh, I love your mom. Well, I mean, your dad's wonderful too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had this childhood, and you came here when you were 22 years old.
Yeah.
Why Utah?
My older sister, she came here with her best friend. She did high school in New York, my older sister, and then they came to meet her best friend's fiance's family. And then she fell in love with Utah, and then she came and she went to UVSC, now UVU. And then I came in 1987. She married an American, And then I came for her wedding in 1997. And then a year later, I came back to go to school.
I see. And did you spend any time in New York? You mentioned, or you came from straight from the
No,
Dominican
I
Republic?
came straight from the DR.
Your parents ended up in New York later. Is that correct?
They went first, and then after I came, they ended up coming to Utah.
So you end up in Utah. You go to Utah Valley down here, right? And you study business. But then you got into the restaurant business and different things. What is it as you got here? What changed for you? What was you obviously loved it here, but what began to change for you? The beautiful things and maybe the not so beautiful things.
Well, for me, what it changed the most was to interact with people that didn't have my background. Talk a different language. The food was very different. You couldn't find the things that you have in the Dominican Republic. And then understand that to be able to find the American dream, like everybody calls it, you have to struggle. You have to go through things. I went through going to college. I went through so many things that at the beginning, I just wanted to go back home. My older sister, she didn't let me speak Spanish. And then she said, you didn't come here to learn Spanish. And then I couldn't have Hispanic friends for a bit. And then I met Arabians and I dated one, and it was interesting, I think that was one of the biggest challenge for me. And then I had to work things that I never thought I was going to work, such as in a restaurant. I came from working in an office. I used to work at the American Chamber of Commerce in the Dominican Republic before I came, and it was like, now I'm peeling onions. Now instead of doing my hair down, I had to put it in a ponytail, in a bun. It was like, I want to go back. And the fear of the cold weather. That was 1998. That was the worst. And, I remember one time I was waiting for the bus and I lost it. I missed the bus, and I'm walking to UVU, and I just, all the rain, cold rain on me. I'm like, no, this is not for me. And then I started doing this, like getting Ebola, we say, to get a ride, and nobody stopped, not even there to look. And I got to the school crying, and I'm like, I just want to go back home. And then that's when I met this guy, and everything changed.
Oh, a man,
Man.
a handsome young man. Yeah. So you didn't speak any English when you came here.
I had a little bit of the basics. I couldn't speak a lot, but my grammar was really good.
Yeah.
And then when I went to UVSC back in the days, I got a test. And instead of starting from scratch, I went to the 4th level. So it was just 1 year school of English, and then I went to the career.
So your sister, though, she's like, no, you came here to learn English. I know it bothers you in the beginning, but what do you see now?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
Because I still made friends. Still, I made a lot of friends, and it was interesting to figure out the whys and the what for, but at the end of the day, it paid off.
Yeah.
The
struggle paid off.
Yeah, and I worked 3 jobs at UVU, and I couldn't speak Spanish. So it was like, okay, she threw me there.
Yeah. And so, you're going to school, and is this gentleman you mentioned, did you end up marrying this person?
No.
Broken heart. Yes? No.
Yeah.
You broke his heart.
No, he was from Yemen.
Oh.
And then, he couldn't marry somebody that was not Muslim and from Yemen. And then, but we dated quite a bit for a few years, and it was interesting.
Yeah. What did you learn from that experience?
I learned, first of all, my value as a woman, because women there don't have rights. And I learned that even though we were from different cultures, we got along really well. And it was magic for me, even though he restricted me from doing things that, as a Hispanic woman, Dominican woman, I would do, like the dancing, the wearing short skirts and short pants. But I learned how to cook like really spicy food, and I loved it. And I was like a housewife, but not housewife. And he taught me a lot of his culture. I taught him a lot of my culture, and we really got along. It was like, okay,
So that relationship, did it propel you into something else
yes.
as time moved forward? So what so you know, you're having this experience here. You graduated from UVU, you took UVSC, right? And then what happened? What was your life like? You know, you're starting to build a life. You've got some friends. You've got some more starting to feel a little bit like home here.
Yeah.
Yes. What where did your life take you next?
Well, right after he left to Yemen, my dad was still alive, and then we went to BYU for a baseball game. The Anaheim Angels had the rookie team in Provo back in the days, and then somebody invited me to the game, and then after invited me to a barbecue, a friend of mine, and at that barbecue I met a baseball player. I met him and another one. At the end of the story, I married the baseball player.
Which one? The first one or the second one?
The first one. The only one.
Yeah.
So I met this guy. His name is Angela Pichardo, and I fell for him. We dated over the phone for pretty much a whole year.
Did he play for the Anaheim Angel?
Yeah, he was shortstop. And then we got together. I got pregnant when he was still playing. And then at 5 months, I had a miscarriage. After that, he came every off season. He would come to Utah and stay with me. And then back in 2002, he got released back in the Dominican Republic.
So he was a Dominican person too.
Yeah, he was Dominican. He is Dominican.
And so did he go play back in the Dominican Republic, baseball back in?
Well, he got released when he was there. And
I
then
see.
he came to the States to be with me.
Did you guys form a life together?
Yeah.
Did you have more children?
Yeah, two.
Yeah, two more. And are you still married to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So you've had this experience. I know you've kind of gone through some health things, and I don't know all the specifics. Can you share with us a little bit about the history of that?
Yeah, I mentioned this to Marlene, and that's when she I need you on the podcast. I got diagnosed back in 2022 with brain cancer, glioblastoma.
Glioblastoma.
Yeah, and then April 2022, I got a seizure, and then because of that, they took me to the emergency room. They did a scan, and they discovered the tumor. Then there was a surgeon there that night, and he said, let me confirm. Let's do an MRI with contrast. So they did the MRI. They saw the tumor. It was the size of a, ¿cómo se dice? Una bolita. Como la bolita.
Little ball?
Like a little tiny, like this.
Like a marble?
Yeah, like a marble, exactly. And then he said, I can do surgery next week. And then he said, I'm going out of town. It was a spring break of 2022. But I think I'm going to change it. I have to do surgery. Within 5 days, he did the first surgery. Within a week, he put me on Keppra, which is a seizure medication. And I remember I sent him a text on a Friday night, and I said, hey, I need to be off this medication. I don't like to take pills. Give me something natural. And then also, I want my phone back. My sister didn't let me have my phone. She didn't want anyone texting me or asking me how I was doing. And then Saturday morning, my sister showed up early. I was doing breakfast. I was in the shower, and then all of a sudden I feel somebody's outside of the shower. I'm like, do you need anything? I'm just here. Okay, so I got out, I made breakfast, I offered breakfast to her, and then I get this call. It was the doctor. I put it on speaker, and my sister was there, and he started talking. All the English I knew went away. I couldn't understand anything he was saying.
So can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
So this is after your first surgery.
After my first surgery.
How many weeks? Couple weeks?
No, same week.
Same week. So you had the tumor removed.
Yes.
Correct. And then your sister's there. I'm just trying to get clear. So he calls you that day.
He calls me the day after I sent him a text.
I see. Okay. That you don't want to be on the medication anymore. Okay.
And I didn't want to be watched.
I see.
I didn't want anyone to be watching me. I wanted to do my thing, go back to work out, and everything that I was doing.
Right.
And then when he called, I understood a word he said, and I just looked at my sister and I said, "Is it cancer?" And I saw her eyes like tear up, and she said yes. Mm-hmm. And I just asked, "What stage?" She looked at me and she said, "Stage 4." And then I remember I turned around to my room crying. I went on my knees in front of the Holy Mother of Alta Gracia, which is the Holy Mother in the Dominican Republic. And I said, "Holy Mother, please, what am I going to do with my kids? Help me out." Mm-hmm. And then my sister came through the back and she hugged me and she said, "I wish it was me because I already have a condition." And I said, no, this is mine. This belongs to me. Mm-hmm. God sent it to me because he knows I can do it. And then I got up. I waited for my husband on the hall. We used to live in an apartment complex. And I saw him through the window. He was carrying organic food. And I said, "Papi, it's cancer." And then when he came, he was crying. He said, "Don't worry. You're going to make it." I said, "It's stage 4. He said, "So what? It's just a number. Remember why people with cancer die so soon? Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Let's do what we need to do." And then after that, I started my treatment.
What was your treatments?
Chemotherapy, mm-hmm. and then radiation. So I did a total of 72 chemos and 30 radiations.
So, you get this diagnosis, and I'm recently experiencing. My wife just got diagnosed with something, and we found out 2 weeks ago. And I'm not going to tell too much about that, but you have this experience where the doctor's speaking to you and telling you what the pathology report says, mm-hmm. right? Explaining it to you. And in the moment you are hearing the pathology report, and the fear starts kicking in again. Mm-hmm. And when the fear started kicking in, your ability to understand English went away. Right? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I've had similar experiences, and I just recently had one where I was reading the pathology report of my wife just recently. I was reading it myself, because I know what those words mean. Mm-hmm. But the fear kicked in, and I must have read that report 30 times. Because in the moment the fear kicked in, I didn't understand a dang word. It's because I was so afraid. I'm sharing this with you because it reminds me of what you shared a moment ago, that when you were listening to the doctor and the fear kicked in, the ability to comprehend mm-hmm. went away. It's an interesting thing that happens with fear. However, you did something, you shared something that was very profound to me, was that you immediately went to God, went to a place where you could connect with God, the source of who you are, and you realize that possibly at this moment you were starting to see that God may have given you a gift, because this is mine, right? You said that God wouldn't have given this to you if it wasn't yours to bear, yeah, or to experience.
Yeah.
And why do you suppose we do that? Because I'm related. I did a very similar thing. My wife, we're doing a very similar thing. We're in this process, and so why is it that, from your perspective, that when there's a lot of fear about life, about your children, what is it about our life experience where we go back to the source? Why do you suppose you did that? Why do you suppose we do that?
I mostly did it because of faith and because some issues that my husband had in the past, a diagnosis too. And I saw a miracle on him. So why not to see one on me? Why not believe, that I could have been a miracle as well.
And so when there's a word in English called supplication. When you go to God, or you go to source or deity, whatever it wants to be called, what did you feel, though? Did you feel comfort? Did you feel powerful? Did you feel your faith obviously was there? And in asking and in supplicating in faith, did it give you courage?
It did at the beginning. But then along the days, the beginning of it was terrifying, even though I have faith. I remember my husband would come back from work at lunch to make sure I ate. I lost 14 pounds within 2 weeks.
While you were under the treatments,
No,
or out of just
before
before the
treatment,
treatments?
just thinking
I get you.
about me dying. I was scared of dying. And everybody was like, don't think about it. But what people don't understand is that the way they do things, say things, get you. No matter how you put it, it's like, so am I going to die? Are they doing this because I'm going to die? And if you allow me, I'll tell you a brief story.
Please.
One day, first of all, we did a meeting, a reunion, a family reunion with my kids, my nephew and nieces, and my sisters and my mom, to tell my mom and the rest of the family. And my older sister started saying what I was going to go through. And at some point, my husband had to say, stop it. They don't want to hear this. Let's put it that way. And then another time, we were at another sister's house. And my older sister, she loves to take pictures and videos and all that. And then she was taking pictures of me. And every time I moved, she was there. The camera was there. I'm like, okay. And then at some point, I said, you know what, Judy? You're making me feel that this is the way you want people to remember me. And then she flipped off. She said, what? What? I always take pictures. And then she turns to her husband and say, right, Jeff? I'm like, Jeff, don't you think she's just making me feel like that? He didn't say anything. I remember she just walked away crying. And like, well, this is the way I feel. And I don't like it.
Well, you're hitting on something I've talked to several people about over the last, some people that are very close to me, about people that love us. Or they're well-intentioned.
I know.
You see, and they say things when someone's had a diagnosis or they're going through something that's very concerning and very scary. We as humans use language to express concern or love. And sometimes for the person experiencing the diagnosis or the illness, it feels like what would you say? What's a
I don't know. I just feel miserable.
yeah, it almost misses, right? The things they're wanting to share, which is beautiful, I get it, but it kind of misses a little bit. You get what I'm saying? And so then I'm like, I was having a conversation with my friend about this, because of what my wife's going through and some different things, and it's almost as if he said something like, wouldn't it be wonderful to get together with people we love and just kind of be in silence, knowing we all love each other, knowing we're all there, but not just experiencing the moment. It's like, oh, Angela's got this diagnosis and this thing's happening, but I'd just love to spend some time with her. You get me?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you at all? What I just
Yeah.
shared?
For me, the main thing that I always said, I don't want anyone to be sorry for me.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
be okay. I remember I asked my daughter, "Hey, are you scared for mommy?" And she said, "No. You're the strongest woman I know,
Yeah.
and I know you're gonna make it." And she was at the time she was 15. Well, she was gonna turn 15, and it hurt me a lot because I couldn't celebrate her 15th.
Yeah.
And I remember she said, "Mom, when are we gonna go shopping?" I'm like, "Mi amor, I cannot go out. I was so weak, and the chemo, and the feeling and all that. I just didn't have the strength to do so."
Yeah.
And she said, "You're the strongest woman I know, and my boy too." And they're like, "Okay." So my husband once, he saw me crying. He said, "You know what's gonna happen to you?" And I said, "No, you're gonna die." You know why? Because that's what you're thinking of.
I see.
Don't you believe in miracles? Don't you believe in God? Don't you have faith? I said, "I know," but he said, stage 4 again. He said,
So the fear's still there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And but that night was a Sunday night. That was my wake up call.
What was that? What do you mean by wake up call? What was the wake up call?
When he said, "You're gonna die if you continue losing weight. If you don't have strength to do the treatment, you're gonna die." And next day I woke up, I started jumping rope, running, working out. I was in again. But then a few months later, I got my MRI. The most important one was supposed to be November 2022. I went to the Dominican Republic in September. Everything was good. I ran. I did everything I love to
You
do.
took care of yourself,
Yeah,
nutrition. Yeah.
everything. I come back. Cancer is back. The tumor grew back. I had a coach, a life coach, that I met at the beginning of my process. She changed my diet. She helped me learn how to meditate. She helped me a lot, and I understood also where my cancer came from, besides the physical, but I understood the energy part of it, and she helped me heal. I learned how to love and live with cancer. She told me once, "What you wanna do? You wanna die, or you wanna live with cancer? Because if you wanna die, I can help you die with cancer. But if you wanna live, I can also help you out." And I said, "No, I wanna live." Okay. And then she made things for me to change, and exercises and stuff like that.
And with her, you mentioned you learned to meditate, right? What does that mean to you?
It means to find myself, to recognize that I can be my whole world, and understand that I can find peace within myself that nobody else can give me. That's the main thing that I learned with meditation.
And because of that, how has it assisted you?
Well, because I learned how to breathe. When I did the radiation, they put me on a mask that was made especially for my face and tied me to the table. And every time I went to that table, that was the time of prayers and meditation.
And breath.
And breath. Yeah, so she helped me what I needed to do, how I needed to do it. And she just, when I mentioned to her my Holy Mother, she said, so that's the person you're going to go to every time you feel anxiety, every time you feel discouraged. Pray to your Holy Mother and ask her to help you. She will help you. And honestly, that's what I did during the whole process and still do.
I love it. And you mentioned that you now have an idea, or you now know where this cancer came from, or how it worked, what it is. Can you share that with us a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling Marlene, back in 2015, I fell off a four-wheeler with my husband. We were going uphill in a town, and all of a sudden the engine stopped. And then we were going backwards. And my husband said, hold. And when I was look back, I just see like so many rocks and dents like along the sides. And he told me, jump. Before he said that, I was just holding my mouth because I didn't want to lose my front teeth. I'm like, man, I'm gonna lose all my baseball players here. That's the only thing I thought, because I didn't know how big of a problem it was, or it could have been. And then when he said jump, I don't know from where he was able to push the four-wheeler that it didn't fall on us. And then as I jumped, I hit my head on the ground. Like I say, it was just pavement and rocks. And then I could hear the pop.
You heard a pop.
That sound of my head, you know? And then I scratched my shoulder. But then I got up running. I'm like, there was an accident. My husband, Maximo, blah, 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 blah. I went and the party continued. And then my husband wanted to get on the four-wheeler.
If everyone seems okay, I bumped my head.
Yeah, and you know, my sister, my oldest sister, she was in the DR at that time, but she was in another town. So I called her and like, hey, I had an accident, I fell. Get out of there. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I don't even have a headache. But then when 2 days later, I got to the Capitol, I felt like a zzz on my head. And I'm like, hey, I just want to go to the doctor. I want to do like a x-ray.
CT scan or something.
Yeah, so they did. Everything looked normal.
Yeah.
But then I come back to the States. Same thing. I still feel like zzz. And then...
What does that feel? What does that feel like to you?
It's like something loose.
Something
in my head. And just like zzz.
Not
like, okay.
working. Something's not connected.
Yeah,
something's
something
off.
was off. And then my job, I had to drive. And I went to the doctor and they did an MRI. They say I had a concussion. I'm like, okay, so I had to stay home. I'm like, nice, 1 more week home. I had to be in a dark space and the light bothered me and stuff like that. I don't know if the cancer came because of that.
Well, can I ask you a question? What would if you were to take just what you feel about the cancer? What would you say? Because you're relating to something that, and maybe I'll share in a moment. If you were to just ask yourself internally, innately, with your wisdom, that is it possible that this cancer showed up because of some previous trauma? Is that a possibility for you?
Yes.
Because you said, I don't know if. But what would you say if you did know?
I would say it came because of that, and also stress. Stress and personal issues that didn't get solved on time.
So that between a trauma, and it's interesting what the nervous system does with emotional trauma or physical trauma. The nervous system sees them very, very similarly. And then you compound a concussion, which we treat all, that's what we do in our clinics is treat concussions. I don't know if you knew that. Do you know that?
Marlene kind of told
Yeah,
me.
that's what we do. We take and work with people. And so with this type of concussion, it interests me that people that have concussion, I've seen this in others where they over time they develop some sort of neurological issue, whether it's seizures, whether it's short-term memory loss, whether potentially, we can't say, I don't know if there's any literature or science that says concussion 7-8 years ago leading to a glioblastoma. I can't do that. I don't know that. However, I do know that when someone has a concussion, they have nervous system change. They have later onset type of things, and so it's something that interests me. Like, how do we? I'd love to eventually correlate an injury, and then diagnose it early and treat it early, and get the inflammation in the brain down, functioning properly, so we don't have later down the road situations. With yours, with your concussion and later potentially this glioblastoma, if you would have known what you know now, would you have done anything different with your concussion?
Yes.
What would you have? Give us. For
I
example.
think first of all, I would have gone to the doctor right away because I hesitated because I was in the Dominican Republic. I went just because my sister took me, pretty much. And when I came back, I didn't take the rest that I needed because of my work. So I prioritized my work.
You pushed. You kept pushing.
Yeah, I kept pushing because my job was so demanding of me. And honestly, I would have done it different. And when I fell, and it's something that is so, how can I say, too good to be true. Like, I hit myself here, right here. And then my tumor was right there.
Same spot.
Same
area.
Yeah, and no, we in my family, both mother and father, there was no history of cancer at all. Except for maybe bone cancer or something like that, osteoporosis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have done it different. I asked my oncologist, what did I do wrong? And I remember the nurse practitioner, she looked at me and she said, you didn't do anything wrong. And I said, but I fell. She said, that didn't come from that. But it was on the same spot. Just thinking, because I always thought, how could this happen to me when I was the one who always watched what I ate, worked out, took care of myself, but God had a different plan for me.
And there's something that within you that says this tumor began with the trauma. Is that what you're saying? That's what you feel inside.
That's what I feel.
So I'm going to share something with you really fast, okay? Really quick, because I want this podcast to be about you. But you're relating to something that we're going through right now. My wife, 4 years ago next month, crashed on a bicycle when we were down in California over the 4th of July weekend. Broke her face, broke her jaw, broke her cheekbone, unconscious, terrible concussion, bad concussion. And I was riding a bike in front of her. I heard her scream. I heard her hit the ground. I saw her laying in the ground. And because of the way she hit and her injuries were on her chest and on the back of her arms, so she didn't have time to put her hands down. So she landed like this. So her body did one of these. It's scorpioned. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so she recovered from that. She had facial surgery and all. And then last year, she started having shoulder pain. And we do physical therapy here. So she started seeing the physical therapy, and it just kept getting worse. Our daughter was going to get married in August. So we kind of postponed because of the wedding, and we're preparing for all that. But by October, we're like, we got to get an MRI. Something's not right. Something's not working. Something's off. Get an MRI, and we see this lesion in there, bright, right? Then we order all these other tests to make sure it's nowhere else in her body. And then it just, after Christmas, it got worse. And then 4 weeks ago today, by the way, 4 weeks ago today, she's in having neurosurgery, moving the back part of her second thoracic vertebra, removing this tumor. And for the longest time, the pathology or the radiology and all the people we were seeing is like, well, it's probably a schwannoma, a benign nerve tumor. Well, we get the pathology report back 2 weeks ago, and it's something called a leiomyosarcoma. So it's cancer. It's a cancer. And so my point in bringing this up is my Melanie, because we asked the oncologist the same thing. Is it possible that the trauma she had 4 years ago produced this? And he's like, I cannot say A plus B equals C here. However, I do know certain cancers, post-trauma, can change tissue, and you can develop these other things. And he's like, I've seen where someone's been hit in the leg with something, and 3 years later they have some sort of sarcoma, right? So he's saying, I can't do A plus B equals C, but it's possible that trauma induced some change in this tissue, and now you have a sarcoma. So alls I'm sharing this story with you to relate to your story,
Yeah.
and your inner knowing. Wait, I had this head trauma, and how many years later did you have the tumor diagnosis?
7.
7 years later, possible glioblastoma. It's interesting to me because of the correlation. And it's also interesting to me because Melanie, my wife, says the exact same thing you're saying. I know within myself that trauma from that bike accident is part of the reason I have this, right? And for whatever reason, I'm sharing that with you because it allows me actually, so thank you, allows me to have some clarity about her situation. Do you get me? Mm-hmm. And also that you're not discounting your own inner wisdom about your injury. So you're experiencing some things. You still are, yes?
Yes.
Yes. What is it? You had a seizure?
Yeah.
You've had seizures, and so
Just one.
Just one. And you mentioned before we started that how's it affecting your eyesight?
When I had the second surgery, the doctor went deeper. He advised me like, hey, you might lose your vision completely or part of it. That's the risk. And I said, it's okay. And then because he went so deep, he affected my peripheral vision. Mm-hmm. On my left side, pretty much all of it. And then on my right side, there's an area also that I don't see. That's why I'm not allowed to drive in the state of Utah. I don't have a 120-degree vision.
I see.
Yeah.
How's that affected your life?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot because, like I mentioned, my job was, I was a district manager for this chain of fast food restaurant. And I used to drive all the way down to St. George, all the way up to Lehigh, Salt Lake City. I was on the road all the time, imagine. Mm-hmm. And then just to visit my family, my friends, and to be able to find a job. I'm disabled. I get disability, social security, but I love to work. I'm not the kind of woman that sits down waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that has affected me a lot.
Where do you see yourself going from here? Like, what do you see for your life and for your experience?
You know, I became an insurance agent, like I mentioned to you before, and I thought I will never was gonna be able to do so because after my second surgery, I have short-time memory, and
Short-term memory loss.
yeah, and then I started studying online, and then I'll get bored. I'm like, this is boring, blah blah. Finish the course. I cheated on the pre-test. You know, like okay, I'm gonna get the answers, and then I scheduled the test. The first time I failed for 2 points, and then I went. My sister invited me to go to Costa Rica, so we went. I'm like, I'm gonna bring the books to study. Nah, I'm not gonna bring anything. And then I came back 2 days later. I had the test. I rescheduled. I'm like, oh, I had the test. I tried to study online. I couldn't because the class was already expired. Like, I'm gonna go just for
Just
fun.
take it.
I went and I started thinking about everything that we had in the past. Me and my husband used to own a company, and I passed with 71%.
Awesome.
I'm
Nice.
like, yes. And then I started doing that on and off. I'll do
Maybe it's because you went to Costa Rica. You know what they say in Costa Rica, right?
pura vida.
Pura vida. It's like live pure, baby. Yes, right.
Yes.
So yeah, that's beautiful. And do you love what you do now?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mostly love. I started using some supplements, natural supplements from Mexico, and those supplements helped me a lot. I got up. And what I love most is that people call me and say, hey, I have somebody with cancer or with this illness. Can you talk to them? I'm like, yes. I don't want to sell product.
Yeah.
I want to share my life. I want to share my experience with the product though, but still I want to help. And that's what I like. I like to help.
What is the product? I didn't know this. So tell me a little bit about the products you use and what you found.
You want me to say the name?
Please.
Okay, Vital Health.
Vital Health. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Mexican company from Hermosillo, Sonora. And then I met the doctor, the founder, 2 years ago. And I met him in Salt Lake City. Somebody told me he's going to be there. Go and talk to him about your problem. And I talked to him and he said, and I told him, hey, I got diagnosed, blah, 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 blah. He said, do you know why the cancer comes back to people that were on remission and cancer-free? It's because they don't nourish their body. Our products, that's what they do. We detox, we restore, and we nourish. And I say, what should I take? He said, mainly you have to take, you have to detox your body. You have to keep the liver clean. And then you're going to take glutathione. And because of your brain surgery, even though if you don't have a brain problem, omega. But not just any omega. You have to take this omega that is made from this. They use organic products from Mexico, and they use nanotechnology, adaptogens, nanotechnology. The combination makes that the product goes to your body and start acting right away. And honestly, I just started with the coffee, and all of a sudden, I added an energy drink that they have based on natural supplements. And second day, I'm getting up, walking and running. And I remember my husband told me, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to go and work out. Are you sure? Because they were afraid of me hitting something. I'm like, no, I'm going to go and walk. And I started running. Like I restarted my jumping rope that I left aside. And to the day, I still take it.
So from your diagnosis to today is how long?
2022, 4 years.
4 years.
They gave me in 2022.
I'd fist bump you if I could reach you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Psh, psh.
In
Yeah.
2022, I heard they gave me 6 to 15 months to live.
I'll give you another fist bump. Psh. Yeah.
And my doctor said, at some point, we need to talk about it. And I said, talk about what? I'm gonna ask you a favor. He said, what? He's very nice. He said, I said, I don't want you to tell me how long I have. I don't want you to tell me I have days, months, years. I don't want to know. You don't know, I don't know. The only one who knows is God. God will decide when is my last day here. He said, I respect that. But at some point, same, we need to talk about it. I looked at my husband and I said, do you want to know? He goes, no. My older sister, of course, I do. She went out and talked to him. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm still here. And I'm taking care of myself. You know, I
You look
watch what I
healthy.
eat. Yes,
You
I'm
look
healthy.
great.
I'm not sick.
Yeah.
You know, that was something interesting. When they diagnosed me, they call me Maddie. My family calls me Maddie. Oh, because Maddie's sick. I'm like, I'm not sick. Don't ever mention to me that I'm sick.
Don't say that word.
No.
Yeah.
I have a condition that I'm gonna get over it. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but I'm gonna get over it in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. And so it is.
Yes.
Yes. I'm with you. Absolutely. And again, it's like I've talked to so many people. You're going to make me tear up here. I've talked to so many people on these podcasts and in life where they've gone through some significant things. And there's this overwhelming, as they walk through the valley of the shadows of death, right? You know, there's this overwhelming sense of gratitude and faith and trust and surrender to God, to surrender to the process of life,
Yeah.
and empowerment. Like my experience of you is this sense of great empowerment that you've always had within you, and in recognizing, but walking through the fear, see, and the empowerment rises, you know. And so it's like, whoa, there's something to this life experience where we go through hard things, but gratitude and faith and joy and love, it just expands. I find that fascinating. Do you find it fascinating?
Yes.
It's like, whoa. When something so dark and heavy can be so light and beautiful.
Yes. You know,
You know?
cancer taught me and still teaching me the woman within me that I never saw. How powerful I can be and I am.
Yes, you are.
I remember me selling the products to one of my friends. I don't remember her. She remembers me. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember, but I don't. And she said, Maddie, when you were little, I remember every time you went by, that smile. You were light. And I'm like, oh yeah, really? And she goes, yeah. You were the light. You were the person that no matter what we were going through, the moment you showed up, it's like, ah. And then a cousin of mine that I didn't see like for 30 years, he told me, you remember when you were little, you were like blondie, you were the only white in the Dominican Republic. I'm like, well, I don't remember that, but I remember I was a little bit blonde. And he said, you participated in every single beauty pageant that was in the neighborhood, and I was one. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. He said, and he told to my kids and nephew and nieces, this lady right there was the main character in school. Everybody wanted to hang out with her, and I'm like, conchale, yes. And I have so many friends that they're still my friends. Those are my friends for life. And you know, that I love that I could be able to see again through this process.
Oh yeah, and the remembering, like, oh, now I remember me.
Yes.
The light, the joy, the power, the grace, the beauty.
Yes.
You know, that's it's so interesting how these situations, these bring you through this, bring us through this, bring me through this, and then to see oneself again when it's the most interesting but also magnificent gift that God gives us.
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for today. This is, I'm grateful, truly. I mean, you've inspired me and assisted me to walk alongside my wife when this is new for us. So that, to me, there is no accident that you came on the podcast today, because this is right in front of me. This experience that you've walked through, and now I have greater clarity and faith in this process. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you very, very much. Super, very, very grateful.
And if I can be any more help to your wife,
Yeah.
you let me know, and I'm
Yes, thank you.
there. Well, you have to pick me up.
Yeah, I will come pick you up. Yes, beautiful. Do you have? Do you want to share with people your business or your what you're doing with your nutrition? If that's something, we haven't talked about that, but you're welcome to share whatever if people want to get in touch with you. Or
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I my coach, her name is Maritza Enriquez. She's a Dominican. She lives in Miami, and she can do Zoom or phone calls. She has a free consultation, and then I do Vita Health Global. That's the name of the company. I became a distributor because I use the products and I believe in the products. If something wouldn't work for me, I wouldn't recommend. And then also I became a insurance agent. I do life, health, and auto, property, casualty is called. And then I just want to be a tool that people can use to understand that we need to fight. Life is not easy. Besides cancer, I've been through so much that I never thought I was going to go through. Having a steady life, and I've been through everything that you can imagine. And at the end of the day, we have a God that lives. And He will give us, at the moment that we need it, He will give us what we need. And do not hesitate to call your family. My sisters, my mom, I have a stepbrother too, and he's my dad's. He's not a stepbrother, but he reached out when
Uncle?
No, he's my brother.
He's your brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And he reached out on my second surgery, and that was a very special day for me after I didn't see him for years. And now he calls me pretty much every day. And we have this bond. But my sisters, my mom, they're like there for me. And those few friends that were the ones who stayed, everybody, I was the party person in Utah. Me and my husband. My house was full of people. You get sick, only the few stay. But those are the ones that God wants you there to help you with your, when you resurrection, to be next to Him. Everybody else aside.
I call them angels among me.
Yeah. And if I tell you so many things that I experienced, you're going to be amazed. But I know we don't have time.
Well, we will love to have you back.
Yes.
You said a word a few minutes ago that hit my heart. You said, we get to fight. And there's a connotation about fighting that implies anger. When you said fight, it was fighting from passion. there's no anger in when you said,
No,
there's
I'm not mad.
in English, and I don't know how you would say it in Spanish, but in English, there's a belief, a feeling behind the word fight that implies anger. When you said it, I'm like, that's a powerful word because you said it without anger. There's no anger in your fight. There's gratitude in your fight. That's the message I got when you said fight. So that's a different perspective with the word fight. It's like, wait a minute, I can fight with gratitude, not anger or resentment, but with power.
I'll tell you something. When I got diagnosed, I was so blessed to not question God. Why me? Instead, I said, why not me? You know what I mean? He chose me. There's a reason for it. I had a friend who passed from glioblastoma almost 2 years ago. It's been 2 years. And I met her through the process. And I remember we became sisters. And
What's her name?
Mia Love.
Mia. I know Mia. I voted for Mia Love.
Yeah, we became sisters.
Yeah, I
and
know,
I'm
I
still
know,
talking
yeah.
to her mom and
Bless
and
her
her
soul.
dad.
Yeah.
And she was so scared. I remember one time I went to her house. We tried shoes, and she's like, "How can you be on high heels?" I'm like, "I'm Dominican, baby." And we danced, we cooked, but she was so scared. And I said, "Sisters, don't think about that." She did a clinical trial; it was working just fine, and all of a sudden stopped, and she died within months. I couldn't even see her, and I always think like she died because she was so scared. She was so scared. And at the end of the day, honestly, yeah, the feeling comes. That of course you feel. I had the death stepping on my back. I was hiding. I was like, okay, you're not gonna get me. Well, he didn't get me. But you have to declare it. You have to declare yourself healthy, and you have to declare yourself that you're going to make it through. If God has a different plan, you have to accept it. I was scared of death. I was scared. I was terrified. Just to see my kids, their eyes, I was like, what are they going to do without me? My husband, too. And after I understood, and I started loving cancer, living with cancer, then I said, okay, now we're fighting 100%.
Yeah, with love.
With love. Love and taking care of my body, taking care of what I eat, who I surround
and
myself.
And isn't food love?
Yes.
So love.
Lots of salad, lots of juices.
Yeah. Well, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for today. Very grateful. Thank you very much. You've impacted my life, so thank you. Very grateful. Guys, we love you. Thanks for tuning into the Two Thumbs Up podcast. Thank you for coming on. Grateful. And we will see you down the road. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
2 thumbs up.